All right, hello Divi Nation. Welcome to a brand new Divi use case live stream where each week we show you how to add new design and functionality to your Divi websites. Today we're going to be doing something new, something a little bit more technical. We're going to be showing you how you can implement a dark mode toggle in your Divi website. And this is done without a plugin, completely custom, and with this functionality you'll have more control over how your dark mode looks, and it won't compromise your branding and things like that. Really cool. I hope you like it. Don't forget to check out the blog post the video description for a link to the blog post that goes along with this live stream. And let's go ahead and jump in and get started, everyone. All right, so making sure that you can hear me. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up in the chat if you would. I see people already saying hello. All right, Lawrence, hello, Uncle Social. And Sergio from Chile. I lost my cell phone in Chile one time when I was going to the airport, so it was really bad because the guy started taking pictures with it and went to my Google account. It was crazy. Thought I'd share that. Hello from Argentina, Excel. Let's see, Luis from Colombia. All right, awesome. Y'all can hear me loud and clear. Yes, Rob, it's Wednesday. Sorry about that. We had to postpone our live stream to Wednesday. Sorry about that, but hopefully I didn't throw too many people off this week. We had a new feature release, the Divi hosting and things like that this week, which was exciting. But I'm excited to get into this dark mode toggle with you guys. Hi, Nicholas on Facebook there. Hello from France. Looking like we got a pretty good crowd. Hopefully I can answer all your questions as you ask them. If not, hopefully someone on the chat can help as well. Let's see, on the screen right now you can kind of see a preview of what we're going to be doing today. This is actually a pre-made Divi layout, a page that has been made or been given a dark mode. The page has a toggle at the top. I'll go ahead and zoom in and show you this. Here's the dark mode toggle, and I can just click that on and off. And so right now it's in light mode. If I scroll down, you can see the entire layout. I'm going to scroll slowly because sometimes it looks really crazy. As I go back up, you'll see if I click on my toggle to dark mode and scroll down, you can see this is a basic, dark mode design. Basically what we've done here is added a dark background and light text to different Divi elements, like all the sections, all the text modules, and a few columns where it was needed. And so the idea being that, I set this up, and I'll talk about this a little bit more as we go, but I set it up so that, whatever class you add, or you can add a certain class to any Divi element on your website. And if it has that class, it will adopt the dark mode styling whenever you click on that dark mode toggle. And also, I've implemented the functionality that it will save your dark mode state, or I'm sorry, dark or light mode selection throughout the browser session. So like if I refresh this page, it will stay in dark mode. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. Oh yeah, you can also add this toggle not just to a page, but we can also add it to a header, which is really nice. And you can implement this site-wide using global defaults. For example, you can add that class to a global default on the section, and it'll add it to all sections throughout your site pretty easily. So I think it's pretty cool. I hope you like it. Let's go ahead and get started. I'll show you how to do it. Like I said before, it is a little bit more technical. We're going to be copying and pasting some code, but hopefully once that code's in place, you'll kind of be empowered to, make the tweaks as you see fit for your dark mode design. All right, so I'm going to build a new page in Divi on the front end. And before I click this build from scratch button, I do want to welcome you if you're just joining us to this week's Divi use case live stream. And today we're showing you how you can implement a dark mode toggle on your Divi website. And check the video description for a link to the blog post for more information on this tutorial. All right, let's get back to it, guys. Let's start by building from scratch. All right, so I'm going to add here, this is basically my dark mode toggle we're going to add first. And this is a regular section. I'm going to add a 1-column row, and then I'm going to add a blurb module. We're going to build this toggle out of one blurb module. And we're just going to add a few custom CSS elements to make it really cool, but over pretty much for the most part, it's just going to be using the built-in settings. All right, so first things first, we're going to get rid of this default content here. I don't want the title or the body, and I want to use an icon instead of an image. And I want to grab this little square, this dark square. It's going to be my little toggle there. And so once I have that selected, I'll go over to my design. Just bring it over here for now. And I'm just going to give my icon a color. Let's just make it I'm going to make it like a gray, because we want it to show up. I'm trying to find a color that shows up with a light background and a dark background without me having to change the color. But you can also change it if you want. This I want to be aligned left. And let's make the icon font size 22 pixels. There, you can see my little dot there. Let's make the width. Let's go to my sizing. Let's make the width 50 pixels. And now it's hidden from view, but there it is. It's going to come back to us. All right, so I'm going to align it to the center there. Now it's in the center. I'm going to give my height of 25 pixels. And under my spacing, I'm going to take out that default margin quickly, set it to 0. And I'm going to give it a rounded corner here. So I'm under border, I'm going to give it let's do 4 pixels. And let's add that border style. Let's do a 2-pixel border. Now you can see that button coming, that toggle button coming to life there. And let's make that border color the same as the text, which is that gray. And okay, so there's my toggle button. Now what I'm going to do is add some custom CSS to it, because I want it to have a little bit of a label here on the left that says light, and then on the right, whenever it's selected to dark mode, it's going to move to the right and then say dark. So that's what we're going to do here. First off, we're going to add to the main element here, I'm going to add overflow visible. I'm going to make that important. And if you're familiar with Divi, you know that we do have I think it works, like for instance, if I come down here to my visibility option and I have the option to select visible here, think it does work actually if I just select that. But basically what I'm wanting is if you select, sometimes if you select the rounded corners, if you add rounded corners to an element, sometimes in the back end you'll have a visibility hidden automatically applied. So we want to be careful not to have that, because I want to add some text on the outside of this blurb. So that's why I'm adding this here, just in case. And then I'm going to add the CSS to add the content on the button here. Paste that in, and you can see like that text says light on the left, and that's what this is doing here. It's just positioning that text, that content, to the left. And we're going to change that in our code whenever we switch it to dark mode. We're going to move that toggle in there, and then we're going to move the text to the right as well. Oh, but now I can design that content, that text that says light there, because it's going to inherit the body design, body text design. So I can go ahead and set this to, let's do Roboto. And you can see it changes my text as well. I do want to give it the same color here, so as the rest of my button. That is not correct. Yeah, it is. Okay, good. And let's take it down to 13 pixels. And let's give it a 1 pixel. There you go. All right, so now that takes care of our toggle. What we're going to do next is add I'm going to deploy my layers view here and open up my elements. And right here is my blurb in my layers view. That's this. I'm going to add a new module underneath it. I'm going to add a code module. This is going to be where we add our code. Now, you can grab this code on the blog post, and all it is a copy and paste, but I am going to need to walk you through some of the code just so you can understand how to make tweaks of your own. All right, so I'm going to copy it and make this bigger. Paste it in there. All right, so just real quick, we're gonna walk through what this code is going to be doing. First of all, this code is being added to a code module within the page itself. Like traditionally, you may want to, add this CSS to a child theme or to the theme customizer or something like that, which is fine, perfectly fine. And underneath this styling, the CSS code, we have, if I scroll down, we have, starting with that script tag there, we have the JavaScript or jQuery that we're using to, apply the dark mode styling on click, save that to the browser session storage, and that's what that's doing. Okay, so let's go back up to the styling here. Oh, and that script, the script code here, if you're not familiar, this can be added to your header or body within the theme options area, and under integration, you can add that to your theme. It doesn't have to be within your page, but it works fine for this this page implementation. So we're just adding, with this setup, we're just adding it to this page. Later on, I'll show you how to add it to the header, which will apply it to the whole site. Okay. There are some comments in the code here, like for instance, dark mode toggle styles. This is the actual toggle, that blurb we just built. This is the styling for that. And it's just adding this is where you would go to edit the toggle once it's in dark mode. So once you click that toggle there, it's going to put or add a class to the body and add a class to certain sections that you want it to. But since it's been added to the body, now I'm targeting that that toggle class. And this is where you can, tweak that. And if you remember, I've added that content of light over to the left. Well, on dark mode, this is going to change it to dark and move it over to the right side. So let me bring back that example. So you see here, now it's on the right side once it's in dark mode, and that toggle moved over. And that's all that CSS is doing there. So if you wanted to change that text to something else, you can do it there. Underneath this one is the body itself. This body, once it's in dark mode, it's going to have that class, and then it's going to have a background color of dark. This is actually important, like for example, if you have a section in Divi, well, we can change that background, but what if you shrink the size of the section and you expose what's behind a section? Well, that's the body background color. So this kind of changes that as well. And this would also apply to pages that aren't built with the Divi builder, like a blog page or something like that, maybe. So you can add a color white to change the text on the body level as well. And for here, this is the dark mode. I'm going to come back to this, but this is because I don't want to bore you to tears, but I just wanted to introduce that real quick. We're going to come back and I'll show you some more ways to tweak the dark mode a little bit later on. So right now, though, we have our functionality in place. The thing, though, that I didn't do that is very important is I need to go back to my blurb here. And one important step that I forgot to add is the CSS class. So right here, this CSS class needs to be, let me make sure I'm doing the right one. It should be ET dark mode toggle. And that's just telling adding a class to what basically allowing me to use that as a selector so that in my jQuery, I can say if this class is clicked or if this toggle is clicked, then I'm going to do all the dark mode stuff. So this is my target on click class here. Oh, it's not dark mode toggle. It's just ET dark toggle. Sorry. It's important. You got to get that exactly right. All right. So I'm going to save that out. And it should, if I add a class, so I'm going to add another class. So this is what, in this current setup, so if I go to my section here that's holding all of this, or this toggle here, and I go and add a class to the section, it will be ET dark mode capable. And what that's saying, I'm adding a class to tell me that this is going to change once I click that dark mode toggle. So I'm making this section dark mode capable. So it will apply the styling that I have in place in the code to that section. All right, so I'm going to save that out. So I have my class to my blurb, a class to a section, and let's test it out and see if it works. So I'm going to go exit here to the live version. There's my toggle. You can see if I click on it, it changes my section, my body, which is down here, and the actual toggle now. Actually, it's not being moved over, which is not cool because I forgot to do something in my code probably. So yes. All right, so I'll fix that later. Hopefully it's not like that on the download. By the way, there is a free download that you can get from our blog post that went out this morning on this, what we're doing here. So go ahead and grab the free download and you can test it out for yourself. Okay, I'm going to come on. I'm going to ignore that little error there for now, just for sake of time, because my toggle's not moving over like I want it to. Okay, and now I'm going to show you how to add the dark mode toggle implementation to an actual page, a pre-made layout in Divi. So let's do that. I'm actually going to grab the mobile app landing page pre-made layout. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go to my load from library tab here. Let's go to my pre-made layouts. I'll search for the mobile app. And let's do this one here. It's the landing page. And I don't want to replace the content because that's going to erase what I have there, my toggle already. And I'm going to click use this layout. All right, so if you're just joining us, I do want you to welcome to this week. I want to welcome you to this week's Divi use case live stream. This week we're showing you how to add or implement a dark mode toggle in Divi. And this applies a dark mode to your design and gives you some really cool control over it in Divi. So that's what we're doing. There's more information on the video description, so check that out as well. All right, here we go. We have our pre-made layout here, and basically what we're going to do is make things dark mode capable. And so, for example, one kind of safe bet is to add it to a section. For the most part, you're not going to go wrong if you add it to a section, and especially if you're just changing the background color to something darker. And the code that I have is going to change it to not only if it has a dark, it's going to change the background color, but if it has a background image, it's going to add a filter to it that darkens it. I know, right? That's really cool. So I'm going to show you what that is or how that looks. But first, I'm going to have to, anytime I want to make something dark mode capable, I have to add that class. That's the key. And here it is right there, dark mode capable. I think it's because I have it as my global default. Let's see. Nope. Okay, let's go back. Maybe I added it already. I just didn't know. All right, so yes. So dark mode, oh, right. That's not this section. Sorry. That was the that was my previous section. I selected it in my layers view. It's actually this one I want. So this section here, I think, right? I want to add, yes. So I want to add that custom CSS class, same one. It's ET dark mode capable. So once that class is there, I'm going to save it out and test it on a live version. And once I hit dark mode, you can see that it changed this section. Everything else is going to continue in light mode. Oh, I think this one had it as well. Oh, that's probably because this section has no background color for some reason, and this is the body behind it. But it's only going to be applied to that one section. Everything else should be light. But as you can see, this has a background image that's been made darker. And let's go ahead and peek in on the code just to show you what's happening on the level of a section. So I'm going to open up this here, scroll down, just to show you what I'm talking about. So this is the CSS that is being applied that kind of overrides the section styling that we have in Divi. So whatever you have in Divi that you put in the front end, you built using the front end builder there, this is going to override it because we're adding a class and putting it in dark mode. So right now it's going to add this dark background color. It's going to add a blend mode of overlay, and which makes it darker, and also adds a transition so it's not so quick of a transition. And then the text color is going to change to this light color there. All right, so that's kind of the override for a section. Let's go ahead and see what else we can do on our setup here. Right now, I'm going to exit out of my code module. If I wanted to, let's say I wanted to add that same CSS class to all of my sections. Well, I have a choice. If I wanted to just add it to all sections on this page, I could easily do that by doing the extend option. So I'm going to go to my CSS class, click on my menu there, and find this option to extend CSS class. So I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to extend it to all sections on this page. And then once I do that, and then save it out and replace, I'll have, or I should have, see how it saved my dark mode selection, so I don't have to toggle it anymore. Let's go ahead and refresh that one more time, make sure. All right, so it didn't work because of some reason, I don't know. Let me look into it. Let's make sure that extend thing did work. So yes, dark mode capable to the section. I bet it just didn't save. Hold on. Okay, there we go. So now it's been applied to all sections on the page. Let's scroll down. So that looks good. You can see some of the elements still need some tweaking, like for example, this text here is too dark. So this text module needs to have the dark mode capable added to it. But these look good. Same thing with this text module here. These are actually testimonials, and the columns are actually white. So in general, I wouldn't add the dark mode to all columns, but on a case-by-case basis, you can add them to the columns. Everything else looks good. I also like this dark mode, or this background color. It's not like black or gray. It's kind of like a softer bluish dark. I don't know, but I like it a lot. All right, so let's do, all right, so we did sections. Let's just apply it to all of our text modules. So I can do that by going to this text module here, going to my CSS class, making it ET dark mode capable. That is not how you spell that. All right. And I'm going to extend it to all text throughout this page. Let's do that. And let's go ahead and go back to, let's look at this blurb here. I bet, yeah, see this blurb, I think I changed it in the global defaults. It has that class already, but if it didn't, you would need to add it to the, you would have needed to add it to the blurb as well. So those are good. But remember this column down here, these columns with the testimonials. Let's go ahead and open up those. I'm actually going to do that in my layers view here. So I'm going to go to that layer, that row. All right, so under here, the first column, All right, that's this one here. I'm going to open that column settings. And I'm going to make it dark mode capable. So ET dark mode capable. And let's go ahead and extend that to all columns throughout this row. So I just want all those three to inherit it. And let's save that out. Okay. Looking good. See if it saved it. Yeah, you see my text is now looking good. Just pause right there. Let's go back to that code real quick. I'll show you what's happening on a module level in the dark mode code there. Dark mode code. Let's zoom in. Okay. Where is it? Right here. All right, so I'm gonna scroll down, and this is a row. If you add a row, but let's go down. Here's the dark. So if you have a module with the dark mode capable class added to it, only thing that's going to be applied is a background color that's transparent. Because if we added a dark background to every module, it would kind of mess up the design. So I thought it'd be a good idea to just change that background to transparent, because it's going to then inherit what's behind it, the color behind it, which most of the time you don't have a column background color, but if you do, it would inherit that. And if it didn't, it would inherit the row or the section color. So that's a better kind of design default there. And then it's just, what it's doing is just changing the color, the text color. That's all it's really doing. So transparent background, change the text color. But I also have this snippet here, which changes all the text headings within in text modules or blurb modules, or within any module really. So if you have a heading, it's just going to change it to that same light color. So you can change that color there to whatever you want. Let's go up here, the column. So if the column has a dark mode, if it's dark mode capable and it goes to dark mode, it's going to have that dark background color added to it and that color. See, real basic design changes. Change the background color, change the text color to light. That's all I really have here. It's really up to you to add even more things using custom CSS as you see fit to, help your brand to look however you want, or your design. Excuse me. All right, let's get out of here. And let's continue looking at our result. So that's our text module. It's looking good. Let's continue going down. That text module looks good. It's got my header. And if you remember, those background or those column backgrounds were light. Now they're dark. All right. All right, so that's looking good. Let's see if I have any questions. I've been ignoring you for way too long. All right, so I have a question or comment from developer Monir. Can you please say how to close FAQ section? I just made it, but when I scroll, it's open, but I can't use it. I'm a little bit confused. Hopefully, maybe kind of rephrase your question. I think you're talking about maybe some toggles there that you're having trouble working with in the FAQ section. Raisin says, wouldn't it be easiest to use site-wide CSS? Yes. Easiest once it's all said and done. I'll show you. That's kind of where I'm going next. I'll show you how to add it to that dark mode toggle to a header, and that way you can apply it to the whole site. So yes, to answer your question, I'm doing it like this in a contained manner, like on one page. Because for a lot of people, maybe you just want dark mode on one page, or like a landing page. And especially like, for example, when I include this as a download, I don't want to include it as maybe a template, and then it kind of adds that styling throughout your whole site or whatever. I'm kind of putting that control into your hands. Like, for example, I could easily go here. Well, I'll get to that in a second. Let me answer some of these questions, but it's a good one. The answer to your question is yes. If you're wanting it to be added to your entire site, yes, add the CSS to, your child theme or to the theme customizer as well. DWeb says, this is cool, awesome, glad you like it. Hello, TMA Studio, a PHP tutorial for an online store. Let's see. Okay, good idea. All right, I'll look into that. I think we're good. Let me make sure I don't have any more questions. Okay, let's continue on. So right now we've showed you how to add a dark mode toggle to a page, make certain elements on that page dark mode capable by assigning a class to each one of them. And also what we're going to be doing is showing you how you can add it to a header as well. So that's kind of my next thing I'm going to do. All right. I'm having some trouble with my monitor here. Okay. Sorry about that. Things went dark for a second. All right, so I'm going to go on to how to add it to a header. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to save this. I'm going to go to my theme builder, and I already have a new, I'm basically going to use one of our theme builder templates here to add a global header. So I have my global header ready. I'm going to click on it. So this is a global header template that's going to be added to the rest of, or the whole site. And I got ahead of myself, so I'm going to go back. So I'm going to put that on hold, guys. Sorry about that. I'm going to go back to my page with my toggle in place, because what I need to do before I add it to my header is I need to save it to my Divi library. All right, so I'm going to go here, grab my blurb, or not grab my blurb, but click on my blurb here in the settings. This is my toggle, my dark mode toggle, and I'm going to, actually I don't have to, yeah. Basically, I'm wanting to save it to the library. So I click on that save to library icon there. And basically, you just give it a name, dark mode toggle or something like that. Then you save it to the library. That way it'll be there whenever you want to add it to somewhere else on your site. I already saved it, so I'm not going to do it again. But you also want to save the code as well. So I want to save that code to the library. So just call it dark mode code or something like that. In case you want to add it as a code module again to the header, which will also be applied throughout your site. Okay, so once those two things are saved to your library, then we can go back to the builder, theme builder, global header here. And let's say I want to add it to this spot. I'm going to open up, things are a little too close for comfort there, so I'm going to open up my layers view, go to my button there, and I'm going to add a new module from my library called dark mode toggle. There it is. Then I'm going to add a new module right under that blurb from my library, the one, that code there, dark mode toggle code, and then delete that button. Don't need that. All right, so there it is, added to my header. I'm going to save that out. Exit, and then save my changes here. Now I'm going to open up another page. Let's just do this one. All right, this one has the dark mode toggle on it. Let me find a page that has my header on it. So maybe it's the home page. Here we go. All right, so now it's added to my header there. I don't have my logo in place, so things look a little weird on my heading, but for the most part, you'll understand the concept. Now it's added to my header. If I click on dark mode, nothing happens. So I'll have to explore why. So I'm going to edit my page. I really love it when things don't go according to plan because it's an opportunity for learning. And that's what I'm going to call it. All right. So let's inspect my section here. And it doesn't have any of the classes on this section. So what I'm going to do, since I'm adding it to my header, I'm going to use global defaults. And I'm going to add that CS class to all of my sections. And this is going to be applied to the default of all sections site-wide. So it's going to basically make most or all of my sections dark mode capable. So I'm going to add dark mode capable ET dark mode capable to under my section defaults. Are you sure? Yes. Save my changes. Okay. Now I'm going to go visit my page. All right. There we go. And now my dark mode toggle is working like it should. And as you can see, I still have some tweaking to do for some of these elements. But again, what I can do is add, for example, most of my text modules will need that light text. So a good idea would be to go, let's go back to my, page here. And I'm going to open up a text module. I'm going to deploy my global defaults here. And add that CSS class to all of them. All text modules. Yes. Okay. Save it out. Go back to my page. All right. Okay, so looking good for the most part. Maybe tweak a few things. Like, for example, I probably need to add the column and make the columns dark mode capable. But looking good for the most part. I don't like that header. As you can see, it's inheriting the section default, that class. So it's going to be inheriting that. So what I can do for my header here, I don't want I'm going to go to my layers view. I don't want my sections up here that make up my header to include, wait, I got to go back, sorry. Got to go to my theme builder. So remember, my theme builder is where I built my custom header. Go to my global header layout here. Okay. And my site doesn't have a site logo. That's why it wasn't pulling it in. I'm just add a filler image for now so it looks right. Just add this one. All right. And then, all right, so my header is made up of 2 sections. If I don't want this section, like your header, to take on that default class that makes it dark mode capable, I can just go in here and override it by adding something like no dark mode class or something like that. Save it. I'll do it the same for this section. At the bottom, deploy my layers view to get that section. There you go. And then override it again. No dark mode. And let's exit out. Save it. Now when I refresh, it keeps it in dark mode, which is nice. And now it's not applied to my header. And I'm not sure what this is that's light, but I think it might be a box shadow, maybe? Not sure. Or a border or something. Maybe it's I'm not sure. But you'll have to, that's like one of the things you'll need to go and just explore and then tweak your CSS as you go along to add it to these elements. And of course, you know, if you navigate through your site with it on the header, it should keep it in dark mode. And the same for light mode. All right, any questions before I think we're done, actually, or close to it. Yeah. Just want to make sure you don't have any questions. I mean, if you wanted to, I could comment more on the code if you're up for that. But I want to be sensitive to your time. I didn't really go into depth in the blog post about the code, but for the most part, it's going to work out of the box. You'll just need to tweak the CSS code as needed for your own dark mode design. Let's go into our code just to show you a few things, maybe, as I look in these questions. Joan has a good question. Where do you put the code module? In general, it doesn't matter, actually, on the page. As long as it's on the page, it's going to be read by the browser and stuff. So you're going to just, you know, I like to keep it close to an element that's kind of triggering the whole functionality of what we're doing. That's why I keep it close to that blurb module that makes up the toggle. But, you know, it'll work if you add it, you know, anywhere within the page. Let's see. Real quick, so just to kind of give you an idea, that dark mode toggle or ET dark mode class that was added to that blurb, that's what's initiating the click function here. So on click, it's going to add this ET dark mode class to both the body of the site and also anything with the class ET dark mode capable. That's why we were adding those ET dark mode capable classes to everything, because if it does have that, it's going to toggle this dark mode, which kind of initiates the CSS. All right. That, you know, make sure that the browser storage is available and records it, your dark mode selection, so it remembers it. All right, I think that's it, guys. I don't want to get too bogged down into that. I think we're good on questions. So if you need more, of course, check the blog description, the video description for a link to the blog post to get more information on that. All right. That's all I got for you this week. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Please be sure to subscribe to our blog, newsletter, our YouTube channel, and like us on Facebook. And make sure that you click to receive notifications. That way you can get notified every time we have something new for you, like live streams and freebies and all that good stuff. And you can also check out the video description for a link and for more information on how you can contribute your own unique content on our Elegant Themes blog. Thanks again, guys, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.